Hello. In Pillar 2, I'm going to offer you guidance, specifically instructing toward editing. So we're going to take a review look at Chapter 16 where it talked about choosing a style in writing, and then I'm also going to show you a handout that helps aid in editing also. And this can be applied to your peer review and then to your writing in general. First of all, Chapter 16 gives us 8 guidelines that I want to go back and review. These are guidelines to making your writing communicate the best to your audience. Guideline 1, clarify who or what this sentence is about. Make sure that the first of your sentence always has a who or a what. I should know from the very first 2 or 3 words who your sentence is about. Guideline 2, make the doer the subject of the sentence. This is going along the same lines. I went to see, in this case, Sheila right at the front, not at the end. This is a passive sentence when you have by Sheila. So you want to try to avoid that. You want to try to avoid too many prepositional phrases, which we'll see in a little bit. Guideline 3, put the subject early. Again, these 3 kind of go together. Guideline 4, make sure the verb is always getting the action, or the action is always stated. This one, the detective is the person who conducted an investigation into the homicide that happened. We just got a lot of prepositional phrases. It's hard to understand, so take out those prepositional phrases and let's see the action. The detective investigated last night's homicide. So go ahead and look through those on your own. Glance at nominalizations, and we've got a few more on the other page I want you to just review. I was stating earlier, boil down the prepositional phrases. Prepositions are those words. I remember a teacher once saying anything that a squirrel can do to a tree. So in, over, above, beneath, through. So in and of are really the most common, and with. So you'll see a lot of prepositional phrases here. Those could be cut out so that the reader gets to the main point sooner. Avoid redundancies. So important, significant, those are the same, so just use one. Let's go to the next page and use sentences that are breathing length. You'll find in that South Dakota article that you're going to be revising in the forum that some of the sentences are not breathing length. So as you review Chapter 16, be thinking about how you can put those pieces into practice when you peer review your classmates' paper, and then also think about it when you're editing that South Dakota article that's in the forum. Let's go ahead and look at the handout that I have uploaded. It'll be very similar to what Chapter 16 says, but it's more concise. So I give you both options. Here it is. This was a former student's work. I love being able to pull things in that former students have written about. So I'm just going to highlight this. 1A, circle the prepositions. So Richard Lanham, who is the author of this summary, or is the author of the book from which this is summarized, says too many prepositions can drain all the action, and the reader just gets lost. In this passage is an example of the use of the rule of justice in argumentation. What did that just say? Revise it. This passage exemplifies argumentation using the rule of justice. So you just have the one preposition and prepositional phrase. When you're working to make your sentences more clear and concise, circle the is forms of all your verbs. Is just boring. Is doesn't give me any action. If I'm wanting to know what something does and you say is, I still don't know what you're talking about. So the point I wish to make is that fish sleep with their eyes open. Well, we've got more than just an is problem. We also have a wordiness problem. But take that out. Fish sleep with their eyes open. So the point I wish to make, that's redundant. If you're typing something, if you're printing something, we know that you're making a point. Is that anytime you have a phrase is that, you can be pretty sure that you've got a wordiness problem. Number 2, ask where's the action? Who's kicking who? Or it's actually who's kicking whom? But anyway, look at this. Burning books is considered censorship by some people. I need to know right away who this sentence is about. I need to visualize a person. So this is revised. Some people consider burning books censorship. That also gets the sentence into an active phrase or active position instead of a passive position where you have by some people. Put this kicking action in a simple active verb. The theory of relativity isn't demonstrated by this experiment. You've got passive again and a prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrases aren't wrong, it's just we don't want to overuse them. This experiment does not demonstrate the theory of relativity. So right away I get the subject and I get an active verb, and it's an active sentence instead of passive. So start fast, no slow wind-ups. My opinion is that, the point I wish to make is that, the fact of the matter is that, here we have again, is that, is that, is that. So anytime you have is that in your paper, you need to look and see, how can I reword that to make it more succinct and pack a stronger punch for my reader. So there's your guidance under Pillar 2, Instruct. I've instructed for, regarding editing. Please look back over Chapter 16 in the handout for more detail and to take your time to go through this on your own. Thanks, and I'll see you in the forum.